So, Section 91 of the Transfer of Property Act provides that besides mortgagor, other three categories of persons can redeem the mortgage. Who are they? First, any person who has any interest in or charge upon the property mortgage. Suppose X has mortgage is on the property of the undivided family. Suppose Y, X is the mortgagor, that property has been mortgaged to a particular bank. Son of X has an interest in the property. So he can redeem the mortgage. What is redemption? That means asking by he may file a suit or ask the mortgagee, receive the mortgage money, return the mortgage documents, and if somebody mortgage is in possession, redeliver the possession of the mortgage property to him. So this is what he says. This is besides the mortgagor, the following three categories of persons, three types of persons, following persons as provided in A, B, C of Section 91 of the Transfer of Property Act can redeem the mortgage. Who are they? First, any person who has any interest or charge on the mortgage property. Suppose the father has mortgaged the property. The son has an interest in the mortgage property. He can ask the mortgagee, you take the mortgage money and I want to redeem it. He can also file a suit for redemption. Similarly, any person who has a charge. Charge means charge that is provided and defined in Section 100 of the Transfer Property Act. If by act of the parties or by operation of law or by operation of law, one person is the property of one person is made security for payment of money to another person, then the latter person, that means who is entitled to get the money, is said to have a charge on that property. So charge, security is given. Suppose in some cases, for payment of maintenance to the wife may the charge can be created on the property of the husband. So here, the wife is entitled that the property is given as security for payment of some money, for the maintenance amount. The wife is getting maintenance from the property of the husband. The husband has mortgaged the property. Wife can redeem. So any other than the mortgagor has the absolute right of redemption. That is the provision available in the Transfer Property Act. But other than the mortgagor, the other three categories of persons, that is, mortgagee cannot. Mortgagee cannot redeem. How he can redeem? He is the mortgagee. Other than the mortgagee, but another person who is not a mortgagee, who has an interest in the property, who has a charge on the property, who has any right for the redemption of that property, he can redeem. So what is that? Besides the mortgagor, any of the following persons may redeem or institute a suit for redemption of the mortgage property. Why I am repeating this Section 91 of the Transfer Property Act? Because Section 91 of the provisions of Section 91 of the Transfer Property Act is interlinked with the provisions of Section 92. So unless you understand the provisions of Section 91, you will not be in a position to understand the provisions in Section 92. What it provides? So any person other than the mortgagor who has any interest or who has any right in the mortgage property can redeem. Second, any surety. And surety of the mortgagor, he can redeem. Suppose X had borrowed money from the bank. Y is the surety, guarantor for payment of the money to the bank. Y can redeem the mortgage by paying the mortgage dues to the mortgagee. Third is any creditor of the mortgagor. Suppose a mortgagor's creditor means any other person who had advanced money to the mortgagor and he had obtained a decree from the court that the mortgage property will be sold. So in such case, he can redeem the mortgage. So section 91 you should understand. Redemption, first you should understand what is redemption. Redemption means getting back the mortgage property, mortgage documents by the mortgagor from the mortgagee on payment of the mortgage dues to him. When this right will be exercised? At any time after the principal money is due for payment. This right of redemption can be exercised by the mortgagor. So besides mortgagor, the other three categories of persons, as mentioned in section 91 of the Transfer Property Act, have right to redeem the mortgage. Suppose these three kinds of categories of persons, they redeem the mortgage. Then what will be their right? That is, what right they will get? That has been provided in section 92 of the Transfer Property Act. This right is created by subrogation, by substitution. That means whatever right on redeeming the mortgage property by other categories of persons, by persons other than the mortgagor, those persons, they acquire the right of the mortgagee in respect of the mortgage property for the money which has paid for redemption. This is called subrogation. This is called subrogation. Subrogation means substitution of somebody's right, legal right. Somebody's legal right, that is called substitution. Substitution of somebody's legal right. Subrogation has not been defined, but it means that substitution of one person in place of another. Substitution of one person in place of another with reference to a lawful claim, demand or right, only for limited purpose. Substitution of one person to another, so far with reference to lawful claim, demand or right, so that he who is substituted succeeds to the rights of the other in relation to the debt or claim and its rights, remedies or securities. Only he is substituted. He gets the right of the mortgagee which he had. That is what is this right? So redemption is not the right of the mortgagee, the right of other mortgagor in place of creditor to whom he has paid, so that he may exercise against the debtor all the rights which the creditor, if unpaid, might have done. So that means subrogation means on payment of the mortgage dues by a person who redeems the mortgage property other than the mortgagor, he acquires all the rights of the mortgagee in respect of that mortgage. This right is given under the law of equity, natural justice, fair play, that is law of equity, that is he who seeks equity must be equity. What is equity? Law of equity means there is no legislation, but justice demands that certain principle is to be followed to give justice to a person. Why? Because he has paid the mortgage money. So once he has paid the mortgage money, then he can realize that mortgage money. That is the law of equity. So that this doctrine rests on the doctrine of equity and the principle of natural justice, and not in the privity of contract. What is privity of contract? There is no party, there is no contract between the mortgagor and the person who is redeeming. But automatically a relationship comes. So that is created in that mortgage. That's because for the reason that he paid the mortgage money. Once he paid the mortgage money, he will step into the shoes of the mortgagee. Whatever right the mortgagee had in this, that in respect of that mortgage, that right will will be subrogated. You will be substituted. What is, now you go through the provisions of section 92. What it provides? Any of the persons referred in section 91, other than the mortgagor, that is mortgagor, right is always there. Any one of the persons. Any one of the persons means in section 91. Who are they? Besides mortgagor and the mortgagee, who has any right, interest in the mortgage property, he can redeem. Any person who is a surety to the mortgagor, he can redeem. Or any creditor of the mortgagor who has obtained a decree for sale of the mortgage property, he can redeem. So this section 92 says, any of the person referred to in section 91, other than the mortgagor, and any co-mortgagor can redeem. Co-mortgagor, once a co-mortgagor means what? Suppose three mortgagors are there. One mortgagor is the co-mortgagor of other two mortgagors. Suppose they have taken, three persons had mortgage property. But 10 lakh. Say for each of them is liable to pay equally, contribute equally to the payment of the money. Suppose one of the co-mortgagor pays the entire mortgage money. So he also acquires the right of the mortgage in respect other against the co-mortgagors, other two mortgagors. So what it says, any of the person referred to in section 91, other than the mortgagor and in co-mortgagor and any co-mortgagor shall on redeeming the property subject to the mortgage or redeeming the property subject to the mortgage have so far as regards redemption, foreclosure, sale of such property, the same rights as the mortgagee whose mortgage he redeems may have against the mortgagor or any other mortgagees. This is very important. What is subrogation? Subrogation means substitution, substituting the somebody and thereby getting his rights, legal rights to claim any money, claim any property, make any demand, make a claim. So what it says, section 92, any of the persons, that means other than the mortgagor, who are those persons? Any person who has interest or any right in the mortgage property, he can redeem, other than the mortgagor. Second, any surety of the mortgagor, he can redeem. Third, any creditor of the mortgagor who has obtained a decree for sale of the mortgage property, he can redeem. So if these three persons, three categories of persons, any of the three categories of persons has been sold in section 91, he redeems the mortgage property, then he gets a right of the mortgagee. What type of rights? You will not be mortgagee, you will not be treated as mortgagee. He also acquires by way of subrogation the rights of the mortgagee with reference so far as the right, what right he had in respect of that mortgage for foreclosure, sale and redemption. Three types. Redemption right is available to the mortgagor. Foreclosure right, what is foreclosure again? Foreclosure means at any time after the mortgage money is due for payment, the mortgagee may bring a suit to foreclose, that means to close the right, to take that seize the mortgagor to redeem the mortgage property in future. So in foreclosure suit, what will be the prayer? What will be the contention? In the foreclosure suit, the mortgagee will file, asking the mortgagor, now the mortgage money is due for payment, you pay the mortgage money, otherwise you will be debarred to redeem the mortgage in future. You will be debarred. Let the court should pass a decree debarring the mortgagor to redeem the mortgage property because he doesn't pay the mortgage money as per the mortgage deed, contract of the mortgage. So this is foreclosure. So once a person other than the mortgagor redeems the mortgage as per the provisions of section 91, who are authorized, those three persons. So then on such redemption, he will subrogate, he will be subrogate to the position of the mortgagee and will get the rights of the mortgagee in that mortgage. As regard, so far as those rights, only three categories of rights, that is foreclosure, sale and redemption, which were those three types of rights and liabilities of the mortgagor and mortgagee in the original mortgage. And whose and he redemption, the same right as the mortgagee and whose mortgage he redeems may have against the mortgagor of any other mortgage. Any other mortgage means if a subsequent mortgage is there, that right, whatever right was available, liability was available to the subsequent mortgage and the original mortgage, this is subrogation. Subrogation means substituting. What is? That it means that substitution of one person in place of another for limited purpose. What is that? With reference to lawful claim, demand or right of that person. Substituting one person, what is? Whatever right, lawful claim, whatever right of claim, demand or right, lawful right, that person had in respect of that. That is called substitution. This substitution is based on the principle of equity. Equity means there is no contract between the mortgagor and the mortgagee, but law has given a sanction, recognition of his rights because he is paying the mortgage money. Once he pays the mortgage money, where from he will get back the mortgage money paid by him? So that's why, because the original mortgagor had taken the mortgage money, dues, mortgage money, and he is liable to pay for this. So that's why section 92 says, so any of the persons referred to in section 91 and any co-mortgage shall or redeeming property subject to mortgage have, so far as regards redemption, foreclosure of sale of such property, the same right as the mortgagee whose mortgage he redeems may have against the mortgage or any others. Then the right conferred by this section is called the right of subrogation. So he acquires the right of this redemption, sale, foreclosure of the mortgage in respect of that mortgage. The right conferred by this section 91 of the Transfer of Property Act is called the right of subrogation. And a person acquiring the same is said to be subrogated to the rights of the mortgagee. Then the person who subrogates is to be treated as the subrogated the rights of the mortgagee whose mortgage he redeems. You understand the process? What is subrogation right? Then you have to answer what is subrogation. So many questions comes, what is subrogation? If you do not that refer the provisions of section 91, then your answer will not be complete. So you should try to answer that the question, what is subrogation, what is the subrogation right, referring the provisions of both the section, that is section 91 and 92. If you are clear, then you can understand. Because mortgagor has always right of redemption. But other persons who has a interest in the mortgage property, who has a charge on the mortgage property, a surety of the mortgage, a creditor of the mortgage, who has obtained a decree for sale of the mortgage property, can redeem the mortgage. By redeem, and he will pay the mortgage dues and discharge the mortgage. So once he pays the mortgage dues, then he has a short-term remedy to realize that money. What are those remedies? That has been given. These rights are given as per section 92. This is whatever right, that is this right of foreclosure, sale, and the redemption in respect of other, if there is subsequent mortgage. So this right conferred under this section is called right of subrogation. Right of subrogation. And what is a person acquiring the same is said to be subrogated to the right of the person who acquires this subrogation right. He subrogated the mortgagee whose mortgage he redeems. A person who has done another person, he can also subrogate. He is to be subrogated. For example, other than the provision persons as mentioned in section 91, any other third person who pays money, who gives advance, who advances money to the mortgage, entering a contract in writing that he will subrogate the rights of the mortgage. He also acquires the right of mortgage by way of subrogation. The second part of this section provides a person who has advanced to a mortgagor money with which the mortgage has been redeemed shall be subrogated to the rights of the mortgagee. So any third person who has advanced money to the mortgagor but to redeem the mortgage property shall subrogate the right of the mortgagee whose mortgage has been redeemed when if the mortgagor has by a registered instrument, by a registered document agreed that such person shall be so subrogated. So this is conventional subrogation. That is legal subrogation. This is called conventional subrogation. Or by contract. By contract somebody is subrogated. What is that? This other than the persons as mentioned in section 91, a third party who has no interest in the mortgage property, who has no charge on the mortgage property, who is not a creditor of the mortgage, who is not a surety of the mortgage, but he advances money, he gives money to the mortgage with condition, entering an agreement in writing and that is registered under the Indian Registration Act, that once the mortgage is redeemed, then he will subrogate in that mortgage as mortgagee. That means he is paying the money with a contract, and law recognizes that the mortgagor can enter an agreement with a third party, and if there is a registered document and thereby money is advanced to the mortgagor for redeeming the mortgage, then in such case the person who advances money, he will subrogate as the mortgage. Subrogate means substitute as mortgage. Substitute the rights of the mortgage. Only three. He will not be treated as mortgagee, but subrogated as mortgagee. That's because he pays the money. He pays the money by which the mortgage was redeemed. So this is a subrogation by conventional subrogation, by agreement. But the legal subrogation is, that is, as per section 92, once the three categories of person, any of the persons as mentioned in section 91, he redeems the mortgage property, he subrogates in that mortgage as a mortgage. But here, a third person who advances money and with a understanding, with an agreement in writing with the mortgagor and registered document, that agreement is registered and which contain a condition that the money is taken for redemption, and on such redemption, the person who is paying the money to the mortgagor for redemption, he will subrogate in that mortgage as mortgage. So in such case, that person will be subrogated as mortgage. Nothing in this section shall be deemed to confer a right of subrogation on any person unless the mortgage in respect of which the right is claimed has been redeemed in full. The third check is there, third condition is there, to get the right of the mortgagee by subrogation. The mortgage must be redeemed in full. If a partial redemption takes place, then the person who makes a partial redemption, he will not get the right of the mortgagee by subrogation as per the provisions of section 92. Probably you are clear now. So what is subrogation? Person who redeems the mortgage other than the mortgagor on redemption, he subrogates in that mortgagee as rights of the mortgagee so far as sale, foreclosure, or redemption. Even a third party, an outsider, who advances money to the mortgagor, and there is an agreement in writing which is registered that after redemption, on redemption, that person will subrogate the right of the mortgagee, then this he will be treated as subrogated mortgagee. This right will not be available unless the mortgage is redeemed in full. Once there is a partial redemption, this right of subrogation will not be available. So why because these are the only three these difficult matters to be understood. What is subrogation? Then now let us see. Prohibition of tacking. What is tacking? Tacking is getting some priority. Section 93 says, no mortgagee paying up a prior mortgage, whether with or without notice of an intermediary mortgage, shall thereby acquire any priority in respect of his original security. This is called prohibition of tacking. Suppose a particular piece of land has been mortgaged, first to X, thereafter that land was mortgaged to Y, thereafter that property was mortgaged to Z. Suppose Z, on paying of a prior mortgage, Z paid the first mortgage dues. First mortgage, property which had been mortgaged for the first of X, Z paid the mortgage dues of X. So thereby, he cannot claim any priority regarding his debt. This is prohibition of debt. Only he can subrogate. He can subrogate to the position of the mortgage in the first mortgage. But he cannot retain that property. He cannot ask that my mortgage, which is the third mortgage, that will also be merged with the first mortgage and I am entitled to realize the entire. This is prohibition of taking. On no mortgagee, or this application, this provision will be approved, no mortgage. There are 3 mortgages, subsequent mortgages. If any of the mortgage pays the debt of a prior mortgagee, thereby he cannot acquire any priority in respect of his original security. He cannot say that since I paid the earlier mortgage, my debt will also be merged with that debt and I am entitled to get priority in respect of the original security. This is prohibition of taking. This is excerpts of the English rule, the English law. English law taking provision may be there, but what it says, no mortgagee paying of a prior mortgage, whether with or without notice of an intermediary, whether with or prior mortgage, either with notice or without notice that there is a intermediary mortgage is there, shall thereby acquire any priority in respect of his original security. And except in the case provided by section 79, no mortgagee making a subsequent advance to the mortgagor, whether with or without notice of an intermediary mortgage, shall thereby acquire any priority in respect of his security for such subsequent advance. This is another. Except in the provision of section 79, that is continuing guarantee, continuing loan. When maximum loan is to be taken, that is section 79. Suppose a property has been mortgaged that is for a continuous loan, providing a particular maximum amount, then in such case, even a subsequent money is paid, money is given on loan, then that will get priority in respect of the previous. But Section 79 is saved as per the provision of Section 93. What it says? No mortgaging paying off a prior mortgage. There are three mortgages. There are three mortgages. A particular property is mortgaged in the year 2000 to a particular bank. Again, that property was mortgaged to another bank in the year 2005. Then, thereafter, that property was mortgaged to a third person. The third person, suppose, pays the dues of the first bank. So, thereby, he cannot say he is not entitled to get a right that this I stepped into the sea of the mortgagee. I got this right of mortgagee by subrogation because I redeemed, and thereby I am also entitled. This property will be subject to security. I will get priority in respect of my mortgage, which is a third mortgage, in payment of the debt, priority to the second mortgage. So this is prohibition of taking. Taking means taking. Taking here, this is provided in section 93. What you see? No mortgagee on payment of the prior mortgage. That is prohibition. This provision is this section what object of prohibiting the English form of taking. Why? In English law, this taking is there. If a subsequent mortgagee pay of the prior mortgage, if then he gets priority regarding realization of his debt prior to the intermediary mortgage. This is available in English law. This such a rule is there in English law, but so that English law principle is not prevailing in India. What it says? No mortgagee paying of a prior mortgage. Prior to three mortgages, four mortgages. Suppose fourth mortgagee pays the first mortgage. So there are other intermediate mortgages. So as because he makes a payment in respect of the first mortgage, he cannot say, but I will step into the shoe of the first mortgagee. I am also entitled to realize my mortgage dues first, prior to this other two intermediate. So this prohibition is there in section 93. No mortgagee paying off a prior mortgage, whether with or without notice of an intermediate mortgage. The prior mortgage is whether he has notice of intermediate mortgage or without notice, shall thereby acquire any priority in respect of his original security. He cannot acquire any priority in respect of original mortgage. But except in the case of section 70. Except in the case of 79, we have discussed when a property is mortgaged and with a condition that mortgage can be paid from time to time subject to a maximum. In such case, that even money which is advanced by your loan not exceeding the maximum limit, even subsequent to other mortgage, that will get priority. That is section 79. So this is the doctrine attacking which was unjust in the mean encumbrancer, whose claim was defeated by the mere chance of the latter encumbrancer getting in the legal estate, was finally abolished in England. Now it has been this abolished in England because one mortgagee pays the first mortgage, thereby he gives the entire property security or relation of that money and his money. This prohibition was made in this section 93. The right of mean mortgagee. What is mean mortgagee? Mean mortgagee is not defined Mean mortgagee may appear confusing. It is confusing. It seems that the legislature have purposely used this expression. Mean mortgagee means intermediate, intervening, or middle mortgage. Mean mortgage. Suppose there is a first there is a mortgage. Again it was mortgage. Third it was mortgage. In the last mortgage, the other three mortgages are mean mortgage, intermediary mortgages. So what section right of 94 says? Right of mean mortgage, where a property is mortgaged for successive dates to successive mortgages. A property is mortgaged for successive dates to successive mortgages. First one mortgage, then another mortgage, third mortgage, fourth mortgage, the same property. Then a mean mortgagee has the same right against mortgages posterior to himself as he has against the mortgage. Even the mean mortgagee has a posterior means after that, after him, or to himself as he has against the mortgage. That is his mean mortgage. That is, what is that? This the posterior means after him, whatever mortgage has been made, he has the same right against the mortgagor, against the subsequent mortgages, that is posterior. There is a saying that redemption of foreclosure down. Redemption of foreclosure down. When the foreclosure will be filed, so for foreclosure will be filed by a person, then he will not only foreclose the mortgagor, he will also foreclose the subsequent mortgages. That is down after first if a mortgage is there, then other mortgages are there. Then for filing a suit of foreclosure, the foreclosure in that foreclosure suit, that will be filed against the mortgagor and other subsequent mortgages. That is foreclosure right. Redemption of, suppose somebody want to redeem, he will redeem all other mortgages which are prior to him. So it is saying is that redemption of foreclosure time. When a redemption suit is to file, other mortgages are there. Then all mortgages should be redeemed. Other redemption of prior to foreclosure down when a foreclosure suit is to file, because the first mortgagee has the right of foreclosure, not only against the mortgagor, but also against the subsequent mortgages. So this is, if subsequent mortgagee pays the mortgage money, then he is debarred from getting a foreclosure decree. So this is answered in provision. Redemption, if somebody asks a question, redemption of foreclosure. Redemption of means when a suit is to file for redemption, that is the previous all mortgages are. When the foreclosure suit is to file, not only mortgagor, other persons will be foreclosed. This is section 90. 95. Right of redeeming co-mortgagor to expenses. Suppose a co-mortgagor can redeem. Co-mortgagor, three mortgagors are there, four brothers, they are mortgage property. One of the brother redeems the mortgage property. That means redemption means pay the mortgage dues and discharge, the mortgage is thereby discharged. So whatever expense he has incurred in redeeming that mortgage property, and not only that, he is also entitled to the share of mortgage money from the other three brothers. This is also section 95. Right of redeeming co-mortgagor to expenses, where one of several mortgagors redeem the mortgage property. He shall, in enforcing right of subrogation under section 90, he will also enforce the right, subrogate the right regarding the mortgagee as of the mortgagee against other co-mortgagors. In addition to his right of subrogation against his co-mortgagor, be entitled to add to the mortgage money recoverable from them such proportion of the expense properly incurred in such redemption. Suppose he had incurred some the expense in redemption, that is to be equally divided, and the expense to his share, that is to be deducted, and other share, the expense regarding other three shares. Suppose four brothers are there, that is also to be recoverable. by that co-mortgagor from the other mortgagors. What is this? Section 95 says, where one of several mortgagors, there are four mortgagors, one mortgagor redeems the mortgage property, then he is also entitled to the right of subrogation. He will subrogate to the right of the mortgagee because he paid the money. It is not against him, but against other three co-mortgagors. And he is also entitled to get share of the expense which are incurred in redeeming the mortgage from other co-mortgagors. This is section 95. So now, section 96 says, mortgage by deposit of title. You are now, what is mortgage by deposit of title is? That has been defined in section 58. What he says, in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, when title deeds are deposited as security with the creditor for payment of money, that is, or in such of the town as notified by the government, when documents of titles are deposited, creating security for payment of money, those are called mortgage by deposit of title deeds. There are no document is required. Simply, title deeds of the property are deposited with the creditor for payment of money. That is called mortgage by deposit of title deeds. So, in case of mortgage of deposit by title deeds, what are the provisions? What are the rights around? The provisions herein before contained, which apply to simple mortgage, shall so far as may be apply to a mortgage by deposit of title deeds. What is simple mortgage? Simple mortgage means when mortgagor personally binds himself to pay the mortgage money, and with the condition that in the event of his failure to pay the mortgage money within the stipulated period, the mortgage property will be put to sale by violation of the mortgage. That is called simple mortgage. So here, the provisions herein before contained, which apply to a simple mortgage, the other provisions as we discussed earlier, herein before, that means prior to section 96, what are the provisions are there in the Transport Property Act, which are applicable to simple mortgage, so far as may be applied to a mortgage deposit by title. So that means where the mortgage is created by deposit of title deeds, only the mortgagee has a right to sell the mortgage property to realize the mortgage money. So 97 has been repealed. Anomalous mortgage. What is anomalous mortgage? A mortgage which is not a simple mortgage, which is not a usufructed mortgage, which is not a mortgage by conditional sale, which is not a English mortgage, which is not a mortgage deposited by title. That is called anomalous. So, rights and liabilities of parties to anomalous mortgage. In the case of an anomalous mortgage, the rights and liabilities of the parties shall be determined by their contract as evidence in the mortgage deed. In the anomalous mortgage, what are the rights and liabilities of the mortgagor and the mortgagee? Those are clearly mentioned in the mortgage deed, mortgage contract. So, in case of anomalous mortgage, the rights and liabilities of the mortgagor and mortgagee have to be regulated, have to be treated as provided in the mortgage document or mortgage contract. And so far as such contract does not extend by local issues, but subject to also local. And so far as such contract does not extend by local issues. If local custom, local usage, mercantile custom is there, then that will also be applicable. Now, section 99, attachment to mortgage property, that has been repealed. Then, section 100 is charge. What is charge? Previously I have told you what is charge. What it says? Charge is not a mortgage. Charge is not a mortgage. Mortgage is a transfer of an interest on a specific immutable property as security for payment of money advanced by your loan. But charge is not to be treated as mortgage. What charge? They are immovable property. On only immovable property charge is to be created, not on movable property. You should remember. Where immovable property one person is by act of parties or operation of law made security for the payment of money to another, and the transaction is not a mortgage. It has been specifically mentioned that transaction, if that transaction is a mortgage, then it will not be treated as a charge. When immovable property of one person is made security for payment of money by mortgage. So section 100 says, when immovable property of one person by act of parties, by contract, or by operation of law, or as per law, is made security for payment of money to another, and transaction is not a mortgage, transaction is not a mortgage, then the latter is said to have a charge. Then the latter person is said to have a charge on that property. And all the provisions herein before contained, which applies to simple mortgage, will be applicable in case of charge. So what is the provisions of simple mortgage? Simple mortgage, personally undertake to pay the mortgage money at a particular time period, and in the event failure, the property will be put to sale for realization of the mortgage money. So here charge is due, that can be property will be put to sale. So all the provisions regarding what? The simple mortgage as provided in Transport Act will be applicable in case of charge. So section charge 100, immovable property is made security. What for? For payment of money. How? Either by contract, by act of parties, or by operation of law. And the transaction is not a mortgage. Then the latter person, that means the person who is entitled for money, is said to have a charge on that property. Then the provisions, all the provisions of simple mortgage will be applicable to that charge. That is contained. Nothing in this section applies to the charge of a trustee on the trust property for expenses properly incurred in the execution of his trust. Who is a trustee? A person who holds property for the benefit of others. Trust is a declaration. That is, in the Indian Trust Act, it has been defined. That trust is a declaration arising of a confidence reposed on somebody and accepted by that person, that that person will hold property for the benefit of others. So, trustee is the manager of the property for the benefit of others. He is not the owner of the property. So, if a trustee has made any expenses, he is entitled for that expenses. But this provision will not be applicable. Nothing in this section applies, but applies to the charges of a trustee. If the trustee is also entitled to get any money and any property is taken as security, then this provision of section 100 will not be applicable. Nothing in this section applies to the charge of a trustee on the trust property for expenses properly incurred in the execution of a trust. The trustee makes expenditure, incurs expenses. So this provision will not be applicable if such a trustee has a charge on the property. And save as otherwise expressly provided by any law for the time in force. No charge shall be enforced against any property in the hands of a person to whom such property has been transferred for consideration and without notice of the charge. This is very important. This, once a property, if law is save as authorized provided, if there is any law that is saving it there, once the property has been transferred to another person for consideration and he has no notice of the charge, then this charge cannot be enforced. So what is charge? Again, at the cost of repetition, I should make you aware. Charge is not a mortgage. But immovable property of a person by his act of the parties or by operation of law is made security only for the payment of money. Then instead, and the transaction is not a mortgage, then the latter is said to have a charge on that property. All the provisions of simple mortgage as provided here in rights liabilities that are applicable to the charge. These provisions will not be applicable when there is a trustee has a charge on property. Trustee has a charge. Then this charge, when a property on which there is a charge, if it is transferred for consideration and without notice, then this charge cannot be enforced against the purchaser of the property in good faith without notice, for consideration without notice. Transfer for consideration and without notice. This second part you should always remember. That is, charge cannot be enforced against a person who becomes the purchaser of that property without notice or consideration. So, without, if he knows it, even for consideration he becomes a transfer. Then this charge can be. I think you are clear. Up to section 100, we have finished. Let us conclude. In the next class, discuss the other concepts. Thank you.